Honorable Chief Minister Naidu has visited Singapore earlier and now is here to build and nurture old links at a time when India and Singapore have commenced the celebration of the 50 years of the establishment of their diplomatic relations, and at a time when Andhra Pradesh has just become the new Andhra Pradesh. After assuming the office of Chief Minister in June this year, Chief Minister Naidu has made Singapore the first port of call. He brings with him huge experience in working with the international community and with investors. He had, after all, built Cyberabad and also initiated reforms in Andhra Pradesh. Since his arrival here in the wee hours of 20th November, Chief Minister Naidu has had a hectic program, and he is at every facility he visited and at every interaction, his mind was always, what can be done, what can we learn, what can I take away, and also inviting everybody to come to Andhra Pradesh. So I can say that he is looking forward to working with Singapore in many fields, including its participation in building the new capital of the state, and also further engagement with the Singaporean companies in Andhra Pradesh. India is today drawing great attention and focus as it takes its position as the foremost emerging economy in the globe. This has been especially so after the elections of a strong, stable government in India, which has taken various steps to tackle macroeconomic issues of high inflation and fiscal deficit. I will emphasize some initiatives which have become very attractive and which actually lay down the path for the future. First is the launch of the Make in India campaign by the Prime Minister, which is a very significant step towards making India an attractive manufacturing destination. It contains a raft of proposals designed to get foreign companies to set up shop in India and make India a manufacturing powerhouse. Prime Minister Modi has also spoken and taken action towards his vision of smart cities and urban renewal with water management and waste management as essential components. The Government of India has also begun a process of deregularization and delicensing and has taken steps to make the business environment friendly. Investor facilitation centers are being activated. eBill single window online portal is being launched as a platform for completing registration processes, as also for filing compliance reports. For fiscal inclusion, the Jan Dhan Yojana of Prime Minister has resulted in the opening of 62 million bank accounts in a matter of 6 weeks. That is huge business for banks. There is huge optimism in India and in the investor community, whether in India or overseas, and they are all expressing confidence about India. Singapore, being the financial center of the East, can play an important role in leading investments into India. This would further cement the economic pillar of the relationship as the two countries elevate their partnership. Commitment to do so has been expressed during various high-level exchanges, in particular during the meeting, most recent meeting of Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Lee Hsien-loong on the sidelines of the India-ASEAN Summit in November, 12th of November. Both of them reaffirmed the commitment for the strength of the relationship and also to work closely to tap new opportunities to invest in India's infrastructure. It is now for the business community to seize the opportunities and to move ahead. I am confident that Andhra Pradesh would be an important destination for Singaporean investments. CM Naidu's address will, I am sure, convince you to go to Andhra Pradesh, and you would find the environment there very welcoming. And I can tell the Singaporean companies, when you do business in India, you will find it profitable and the opportunities of doing business are plenty. I would like to conclude by thanking Ambassador Gopinath Pillai and ISAS for the support that they have given for this business event. I thank you all very much, and now I'm sure you are waiting to listen to Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu. Thank you so much.
Her Excellency, High Commissioner in Singapore, Vijay Thakur Singh ji, respected friends and dignitaries, I am very happy to be with you all. This is not a new place for me. This is an old place for me. I started economic reforms in 1995. India started economic reforms in 1991. I started second generation economic reforms in 1995. At that time, I came to Singapore. Singapore always as a well-wisher for India. I know so many companies. And I promote, at that time also government of Singapore supported me in a big way. Because of that, so many companies, they started in Andhra Pradesh. I had a gap for 10 years. In democracy, always Singapore is having an advantage, continuity of development. India, we are having a disadvantage. Sometimes there is a break for development. And also, sometimes we'll have a problem for taking forward also. But after I became Chief Minister, again I have chosen Singapore first meeting. This is the first meeting after I took over as CM. After this meeting, I want to go to other countries to create some competition for Singapore also, even though they are friends with me. But I know the capability of Singapore. On merit, you can stand better than anybody in the world. That is the merit you are having. Today, you are all aware, India. Forget about fast India. We started economic reforms. If you can go through brief, India after independence, there were stable governments, single party domination, but never produced results. Later, Singapore got independence, you started economic reforms, then you have gone for competitive economy, you have done wonders. There is a continuity of government, of course, there is one thing people of Singapore, they are having a advantage also. We had a negative period also for 10 years, recent 10 years. After 1991, there were coalition governments, minority government, and ultimately last 10 years, we had a negative government also, not only positive government that has created negative impact on reforms also. That's why we had some setback. Always people will have the right choice, so sometimes they will select. That is the situation today. After 25 years, again people selected very strong government in India. No longer there is a coalition government. We are also partners in central government. My two ministers from our side, from our party, one is civil aviation and also science and technology. But Narendra Modi ji is having clear-cut majority, and also on their own, their party is having majority. Even we support, it is a, because we had pre-election alliance. That's how we are working. With all these things, what I wanted to impress upon you, India is moving new direction now. It is very inspiring time. Very strong leadership, and also very, very decisive leadership, and also he had field experience also. He proved as Chief Minister. In India also sometimes we have to see fast, America, if you go through, governors automatically they will become presidents of America. except one or two. In India, first time, Chief Minister has become Prime Minister. So Chief Minister is having full of knowledge on the grassroots. That is the speciality with Narendra Modi ji. He proved that he is good leader, visionary, and also reformer. With that background, if you see here, already indications are showing last a stable government in Delhi. Can you have slide? You can see this, a stable government at the center in May 2014, a proactive government in AP, June 2014. If you see the development now, currently growth of GDP at factor cost first quarter April June, previously negative 2013-14, 14-15 positive 4.2%. Manufacturing also industry overall GDP 4.7 to 5.7, industry minus 0.4 to 4.2, even manufacturing minus 1.2 to 3.5. Industry, you are all aware, industry very, very important. Our PM has given a call now, Make in India. I added one more thing in that, Make in India, Made in Andhra Pradesh. That is my slogan now. Always, first of all, our PM and me also are reformers. I proved it, he has proved it. Now he is at the helm of affairs. Wherever possibility, we have to coordinate our programs. He made it very clear, Digital India, you know about technology. I promoted in a big way information technology at the time. Hyderabad, Secunderabad, twin cities are there earlier. I added one more city, that is Hyderabad. During Bill Clinton visit, I wanted to market information technology. How to go about, I thought, better way to name Cyberabad and put it on international map so that everybody will come. They will start their operations in Hyderabad. That is how I have done. It has proved right. And also, now he is working, our PM, manufacturing sector in a big way. We are having abundant opportunities. India will become a manufacturing hub, not only for domestic, for also neighboring countries, even for other countries also. Infrastructure, this is very, very important. We want to create world-class infrastructure, either ports, airports, and other areas also. That's why we want to emphasize mainly on infrastructure. I will come back how we are planning. And also service sector. Service sector, with a little investment, maximum employment we can create. And also, tourism is one sector where abundant opportunities. Everybody wants to have a weekend holiday. Now that is become very attractive and also very, very employment generated organization also. So we want to go in a big way for services. If you can calculate, always, if you spend around 10 lakh rupees, we can create around 15-20 employment in industry. Same amount if you spend in agriculture, we will create 30 to 40 employment. Same amount if you can spend and focus on tourism, we can create 70 to 80 employment. This is the scope. Future is for services, especially for tourism. And ultimately, skill development is one more sector I have created. We want to focus on skill development. You are all aware, skills are very, very important for future. Singapore, because of highly competitive, because of their skill upgradation. Even some countries, they are very capable with skills. That's why they are able to do very well. In India, we are having excellent human resources, but because of our education system, skills are very low, but common sense is very high. If you can see, my people are working all over the world. They are all from rural universities. not National Institute of Singapore, University of Singapore, but they are all some local rural universities. After graduation, they are working all over the world. I can say proudly, around 30,000 people are working in Singapore in information technology and also knowledge economy. That is how things are happening. But at the end of the day, I want to build up skills. It may be any skill for that matter. All skills I want to upgrade and also update. And also I want to upgrade education career also, curriculum also. We are working on that. Ultimately, social empowerment. This is very, very important. Social empowerment. If we don't have social empowerment, then continuation in power also it is very difficult. Once I tasted that problem, in future I am thinking how to empower society economically and also how to empower them in all aspects. We are working for that. We are having a mission. To carry all these things, we have taken up 5 grids. This is a very interesting approach I have taken up. One is water grid. I want to connect every village, every industry, and also every municipality with portable water, with clean water. There will be grids. They will carry water from reservoirs. That is, there won't be any scarcity of water. From there, local distribution will take place. Another thing, every habitation I want to take it up, tar road and also Pakka road, that we are creating road grid. And also, we are creating power grid. You are all aware, I started power sector reforms in India. Proudly I can say that. In 1998, at that time I started power sector reforms. Then regulatory commission was set up. The then existing power sector was divided into 3 entities. One is generation and also transmission and also finally 4 distribution companies. Regulator used to regulate power generation and also distribution, prices, everything. Because of that, viability has come. By 2004, we are able to reach surplus power and also quality power and also cost-effective power we are able to supply at that time. Again, this 10 years, we had a setback. Now, for the last 6 months, I am able to recover again. Even all my power stations are working at the rate of 85 to 90% PLF now. Earlier, it was only 65%. There was no coal. Sometimes, even there is a coal, there were breakdowns, no maintenance, so many problems we used to face. Again, I started. Now we are giving 24 hours for domestic, 24 hours for industry, and 7 hours for agriculture. Uninterrupted quality power I am giving. I am planning again from now onwards. There won't be any power problem in Andhra Pradesh in the near future. That is how we are working forever. And also, we want to take up gas grid. This is in India, ours is the East Coast. I will tell you again. I will take up. We are having excellent opportunity. For the last 6 months, I sanctioned, I cleared 2 LNG projects. One is Gangavaram, that is in Visakhapatnam. Another is Kakinada, that is East Godavari port. I created 2 LNG terminals. And then I want to take it up gas line throughout the state. We are very rich in gas also. In KG Basin, Krishna Godavari Basin, we are having very rich gas reserves. By integrating all these things, every house I wanted to provide PMG. For every vehicle I want to provide CNG. And also for industries I want to provide LNG. And also LPG, those who are all away from the grid, I want to provide LPG also with cylinders. This is the planning I am having. We want to go in a big way for giving gas. There won't be any problem for gas at any place for industry or to control pollution for vehicles, ultimately for domestic also. Ultimately, fiber grid. You all aware, information technology is very crucial. Now things are happening very fast. Yesterday I have seen PSG port, Singapore port. How they have done, how they have transformed. They also started this information technology that is in 95, 94. Before that, standalone systems were there. Only internet has come. After internet, there is a revolution in the world. World has become a global village. After that, they have gone step by step, very meticulously, they planned very well. One is computerization, modernization, and mechanization. Yesterday, I went to that port. I saw a very interesting one. In India, all our ports are totally polluted. Not only air pollution, there will be underground water pollution also. It will sweep kilometers together. Here I have seen brand very, very just like garden it is there. I have seen containers, so many containers. There is no man. Even to work in India, one rake or one container they want to fill up so many problems. Here, all containers have come, size of containers perfect. Then computer will declare which container has to go where, segregation, then mechanization, totally cranes, then automatically it is loading in the ship. Very soon they are going to do one more exercise, unmanned trucks also they are coming. That is the technology now they are using. There is no pollution at all. What I am saying, we wanted to use this fiber optic connectivity and also information technology in a big way. In India, our PM has announced Digital India. On the base of that, I announced Digital Andhra Pradesh. We are all thinking at that time, around 97, 98 in India, there is only one organization, that is BSNL, to provide telecommunication. VSNL, there is another public sector. They used to provide bandwidth for international. With great difficulty at that time, I got 2 Mbps bandwidth. That Mbps bandwidth I had to use for teleconference, video conference. That is a great achievement. All national magazines, international magazines, they used to cover me. Now we are talking about gigabits. At that time I told one thing, future is there. Now we are measuring per capita power, per capita water, like that we are per capita income, we are measured. Day will come, we are going to measure for per capita bandwidth consumption. That situation has come. Now I want to take it up in a big way, fiber optic connectivity to all villages. Recently somebody asked me, for Panchayat, now our plan is to provide 100 Mbps for Panchayat. It is nothing. It is not sufficient. At least for every house, 15-20 Mbps we have to provide. And also any BPO or any business organization they need, gigabit we have to provide in real time, within 2-3 days time. We are working on that. So that throughout the state, every house, within 1 year, 1.5 year time, or maximum 2 years, I will provide bandwidth, high bandwidth, minimum 15 Mbps for every home. Whenever they want to upgrade, I can upgrade and also enhance the bandwidth capacity. From there, I want to provide all services online. Already we are online. Even government services we are providing online. Contents we want to provide, education content, skill upgradation content, you name anything, everything is available, entertainment, everything I want to provide online. For that, fiber optic connectivity, we are working. And at the same time, we are going in a campaign modes. Some of the issues we have to take it up as a campaign. One is Badi Pilustundi. We want to have a continuous education for everybody, not only students. Even we are having a good experiment. We are having Dhokra women. They are responsible for eradication of poverty And also they are working in a big way for literacy programs also. If you see, 2001, we had a census results. At that time, 17% increase in literacy rate in Andhra Pradesh. All India only 8 to 9%. We have done extremely well. It goes to Dakra, that is self-help groups. 10 women in the village, those who are all poor, they will join as a self-help. They will work for eradication of poverty, for literacy, and also employment, and also earning money. So many things they are working. Even this program, what I am thinking, upgradation of education also for everybody. One is we want to go for students that to 6 to 5 to 14 years age, 6 to 14 years age. We want to have a compulsory education. After that, we want to nurture their career. And also those who are all illiterates, we want to have a continuous education program. That is one program we are having. Another is we are having a program, Neeru Chettu, tree and water. It is very, very important for nature, for survival also. We want to take it up as a campaign mode. Another thing, we are having a program, Polam Pilustondi. This is agriculture, land is calling you. We want to stress on agriculture. We are taking up this program. And also, another program, Pedarikampai Gelupu, eradication of poverty is our main stress, trust also. So we are want to take up this program. Ultimately, our PM has announced Swachha Bharat. I started Parisubram Arogyam earlier, cleanliness and health. Now we are integrating this program with Swachha Bharat. We wanted to eradicate total unhygienic conditions. We want to go in a big way. These are all 5 campaign modes I want to take it up, and I want to achieve results at the earliest. That is our program. And also if you see here, another slide, this is natural endowments. Ours is for you so many opportunities I am placing before you. One is agrarian base, leading production of oil palm, citrus, spice, tomato, rice, chilies, turmeric, and also major cash crops. In agriculture, we are very strong. Agro processing we want to go, and also cold chain link, forward and backward linkages. Even in agriculture, I want to go online trading, and also from soil to agro processing, we want to go in a big way, modernization, everything. There, agro processing, anybody is interested, we are very much interested to work with them. Second one is 25% of India's exports in the marine sector. Value of fish, prawn produced in is second largest in the country. We are having very large sea coast. There we are having prawn culture, fish culture, inland, and our sea fish. Everything is available. We want to go in a big way. Even we are very rich in mineral deposits, largest deposits of varieties, and also mica, and also bauxite, gas, coal, and also sand, sea, beach sand, titanium. This type of resources, mineral wealth, we are having very strong. It is a unique situation. If you go on mineral wealth, generally in India, they are all in Chhattisgarh or Orissa or Jharkhand. They are all tribally predominantly forest areas. But surprisingly, we are having all mineral wealth, abundant mineral wealth we are having. We wanted to make use of this mineral wealth for value addition, for industrialization. This is one area. And also another thing, young and skilled people, student capacity of 3.45 lakh across disciplines in over 2,950 institutes. We are very strong in higher education and also knowledge economy. If you see all India level, we are having IITs and IIMs. They are very strong. In that, Andhra Pradesh quota is earlier combined Andhra Pradesh 25%. In that, Andhra Pradesh new state is leading now. That is the scope. If you can go all over the world, IT means India. In India, IT means Andhra Pradesh. That is how our people are doing extremely well. By using, you can have excellent human resources and also qualitative resources, very receptive, very adaptable also. And also 20%, 22% of dairy product is from Andhra Pradesh. Even milk you can have, and also all advantages. One is milk, poultry we are number one. Even other areas also, sheep, meat, all these things we are very strong in that also. If you can, this is one area. Another area, if you can see India, just now in other meeting also I told very clearly, India is location-wise. One is east coast, another is west coast. As on today, on west coast, Gujarat Eskom, they have developed excellent ports. On east coast, Andhra Pradesh centrally located. From east coast, we can go to, one is Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea, South Korea, Japan, even Shanghai. All these things we can reach only through east coast. And we want to make Andhra Pradesh as a hub. We can develop interland also. All over the world, if you can go through historical data, coastline will develop more, and also at least 3 to 4 times, 5 to 6 times if you do properly, then inland will develop. Richest places in the world are in coastlines. We are having that advantage. And at the same time, I want to create this coastline as gateway for India for exports and imports. For this one is I am working interland, how to connect with better roads, not only Andhra Pradesh, starting from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, even Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, even if you stand from Delhi, right side Gujarat, left side Andhra Pradesh. All that area, catchment area has to come for Andhra ports. And also I want to go in a big way, transit cargo, how to attract that. And also I wanted to make 2-3 ports as the important logistics hub. From there, I want to create some airports, sea cargo, air cargo, and connectivity to interland for import and exports to other countries, even consolidation of cargoes, even sometimes we can go for value addition. All these things we are working. Singapore is doing extremely well. Now I am requesting other people to support me so that we want to make Andhra Pradesh hub for future. If you see here, industrial base, large base for resource-based industry like food processing, mining and metallurgy, witnessing large investments in pharma, automobile and engineering sector. Global and national players have shown strong faith in our state. Tourism industry is a key contributor to state's economy. As I rightly mentioned on tourism, we are having excellent places. Our Visakhapatnam is number 1 in the country. You may get that type of spa place only once in a way or 1 or 2 places. One is in Visakhapatnam, excellent beaches. Adjacent that, beautiful mountains. Nearby, there is a summer resorts. And also people are very docile, very calm. And also there is a very good work culture and disciplined force. These are all the advantages we are having. Now we wanted to make Visakhapatnam as a hub, so that Visakhapatnam will be hub for industry. Already steel plant, HPCL, ONGC, all these industries are located. It is around 2.2 to 2.5 million population is there. By using that, I want to make it a big hub for this seaport, tourism, and economic activities. And even robust infrastructure, as I rightly mentioned, we are going to have 13 to 14 ports. In these 3 ports will be mega ports, where I can create 1 or 2 logistics heads, hubs I want to create. And also, as I rightly mentioned, 24/7 power we are able to supply, no problem at all. We are having in India very few states, we are having abundant water resources. In north, especially Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and also West Bengal, they are having abundant water because of Ganga, because of Himalaya mountains. We are having two rivers, perennial rivers, one is Krishna, one is Godavari. Only from Godavari every year, 2,000 to 5,000 TMs of water is going to the sea. That is the amount of water we are having. If we can utilize 20% of that water, there won't be any drought in Andhra Pradesh. Water is very crucial. How Singapore is struggling for water. You are getting water from Malaysia. Even that agreement is going to complete now, over now. From now onwards, we are planning for what? The state is going to have abundant water. There won't be any problem for water. Even roads also, as I rightly mentioned, from Kolkata to Chennai. It is a nerve center for India. It is covering out of 14 districts, 9 districts. As on today, 4-lane road, some places they have converted it to 6-lane. In future, it is going to convert into 8 to 10-lane road. Rail connectivity, one of the biggest corridor. Bullet train is going to come in the near future. Fast trains, fast track trains are coming. That is another advantage. And also, if you can, this is where 900 kilometers, 950 kilometers sea coast, so many advantages. 3 metros we are planning now. One is Visakhapatnam, one is Vijayawada, one is Tirupati. All 3 are committed by Government of India also in bifurcation bill. And also 3 mega airports at for international standards. We are going 2 airports, greenfield airports, 1 airport upgradation. And again, as on today, we are having 7 airports, 7 to 7 airports. Another 6 to 7 airports we wanted to create. We wanted to create smaller airports there that can be connected to international airports, so that international airports will connect all over the world. That is how we are working connectivity, air connectivity. Even high quality of living, as Prime Minister has rightly mentioned, is going to create 100 smart cities. In that, we are planning 14 smart cities in Andhra Pradesh. This is one more industry advantage we are having. Young India, we are having excellent India's diaspora. 25% of population is between the age of 18 to 30 years, whereas China, 19% only. Even if you see 50% of population is under the age of 25 years, whereas China is 37%. Another 10 years time, by 2020, India average age is 29 years, whereas China 37 years. And afterwards, if you see another 3 decades, India is going to have advantage of demography. If we educate them, India will be the place. They will do wonders. That is how we are planning human resource development. On business environment, we are having an excellent industrial policy. I can assure you, just like Singapore, we wanted to be very efficient and also very fast taking decisions. And also we want to be number 1 investment friendly. Not in India, we want to compete with international standards. Incentives we have finalized. Even Government of India is having one program because of bifurcation. They wanted to give some industrial incentives for us. It is due. We are confident we will get it done. Then it will be the Andhra Pradesh is the best competitive place for industries. And also on policy, I told my officers, real time on single window we are creating. Online applications we are processing. Anybody wanted to file an application, it is our responsibility to clear all the clearances with the real time and also with the utmost transparency. I am introducing now deemed class also. All regular clearances, that means within the framework, I can clear within 30 days. If I won't clear within 30 days, I am introducing deemed class. Automatically you can start your industry. Anybody will ask, that is this business, that is this mistake. We don't want to discourage or harass industrialists. That is how responsibility will be on officers for failing. But deemed class I am introducing, it will be valid for future. Another thing, any mega projects I want to discuss with you, case to case, one to one. After mutual agreement, that also with a transparent procedure. With mutual agreement, I can start it, I can clear it. Every month we are having SIPB, State Investment Promotion Board, that is the highest body. We can take decisions and we can implement it. Even I am watching all over the world how things are happening. If somebody is doing better way, I wanted to improve further in clearances, incentives, and everything. For international standards, we wanted to move. We are introducing escort officer also, escort assistant. One escort executive will be there for big projects. Immediately, he will receive you, he will process everything, he will bring to our notice. Finally, it is his responsibility to get it done, all clearances. Even there is any coordination problem, they will do that. Even port policy we have created. Even we are having opportunities. Now 4 ports are there. One is Visakhapatnam public sector. Gangavaram, which is the deep water port, very good port. Even it can compete with Singapore also. That is the deepest deep water port. Even Krishnapatnam, one of the most important port. There, Government of India has announced smart city also. It is working very well. And also Kakinada, as on today, there is one existing port. Nearby, we are giving one more port. 2 ports are there nearby that. Apart from this, we are having another 10 ports are going to come, small, either private or some other initiative we want to create. They will be smaller ports, but it will be integrated to bigger port where it will be logistics hubs. And also IT policy. This is one area we are very strong always. IT policy we have created. Even IT industry, software, hardware, electronics, all these things we have created policies. Even Kakinada, Government of India has announced as a hardware hub. So they also, that cluster they have announced, that is also going on. Even electronics policy, I am requesting all of you, this is our duty to promote in India. In a big way, we are importing electronic and hardware. We want to go for manufacturing. Even Government of India is very keen, we are very keen to attract. Even another 4 or 5 years time, we are going to import nearly $400 billion electronic and hardware goods. This is a huge money. As on today, our imports are maximum in fuel, that is petrol and diesel. The day will come, it will cross even petrol and diesel. That is the biggest challenge for us, how to go for hardware and also electronic manufacturing. Innovation and startup policy I promoted. Even we have seen so many things, even Facebook, Amazon.com, all companies are startup companies only. So we have created excellent policy for startup companies and also incubation centers. We are going in a big way. We are having a clear-cut policy for doing startup companies and also incubation centers. From high school onwards, I wanted to promote, I want to create this type of creativity and also entrepreneur skills. Some students are having brilliant ideas. Even some people in graduation, they stopped graduation, they came and innovated so many things. We are creating a policy also for education. If somebody stop in between for 1 year or 2 years for incubation or creating something, they can come and continue their education. That flexibility we are creating there. In infrastructure, I told you ports, high quality road projects, 3 metros rail projects, international airports, even smaller airports, solar parks and wind energy. Recent times, we had an agreement with the government of India, 24 into 7 power supply. In that, another, as on today, they are able to give me 15,000 crores for infrastructure. We have created one solar policy and also wind power policy. 2,500 megawatts solar power, we are going with a special infrastructure. NTPC is doing 1,000 megawatts, another organization is doing 1,000 megawatts. This is the first of its kind in the world. Biggest solar park is in Andhra Pradesh, is going to come in Andhra Pradesh. For that policy we have created. There is so many opportunities in solar. I request all entrepreneurs, you have to concentrate on solar. It is now once 15 rupees per unit. Now it has come to 7 rupees, 6 rupees 50 paisa. If we do some more research on this, some more innovations, around 4 rupees, 5 rupees, that is the greatest contribution for the society. So I request all of you, come and set up, and at the same time do some research, which is a boon for developing economies, and also for future also. Sun is available, sunlight is available, but fuels are day by day depleting. We don't have coal, gas, all LNG, all these things, we are having a problem. Water supply grid, I told you, there are so many opportunities in that. LNG terminals, even petrochemical corridor we are going, oil refinery we are going. In the evening, I am seeing your Jurong Island, how they have done petrochemical. So we want to go in a big way. In East Coast, there is no oil refinery. Downstream industries, we want to integrate. All petrochemical industries, we want to go in a big way. This is one more area you are having abundant opportunities. Tourism circuits, beach resorts, waterfronts, hill stations, theme parks. Like this, there are so many opportunities are available. We are preparing project reports also. We'll place before you. And also you are having any creative activity, creative ideas, you come back. Through Swiss Challenge, I'm going to award you. My idea is very clear. One is, sky is the limit for creativity. Any projects are available with us. I want to be very transparent so that it should not go for legal litigation. That is my credibility from the beginning. Anybody is having your own ideas, if you can come back, I can put it Swiss Challenge. So transparency will come. Within short time you can finalize, then you can go ahead with the work. And also industry opportunities available, petrochemical complex, industrial townships, so many things we are working. One is in Verpedu, Kandukur, Donakonda, Naidupeta, Kurnool. Even what I am thinking, I wanted to create 10 lakh acres of land bank. Then I want to create infrastructure, water, power, road, if possible, rail connectivity, if possible, big industrial circuits, I will create airport also. So that every connectivity will be there. Then we can promote for investment. We are very strong in limestone also. We can supply throughout India. That is the strength we are having. Now, almost all 5-6 companies are coming to set up cement industries in Kurnool district alone. There I am having special track for transportation, water, power, everything I am providing. I want to create separate industrial township there itself. Electronic clusters we have created, Visakhapatnam, Kakinada, Hindupur, integrated textile, Guntur, Anantapur, Kurnool, mega food park, all districts, IT and innovation hubs, Visakhapatnam, and also Tirupati and other areas, marine hub, central coastal districts, auto hub, Chittoor to Nellore. As on today, Hero Motors, they started. Isuzuki, they have come. Isuzuki has come. Even I am negotiating with others. It is from Nellore, there is one port. In between, there is one more port. It is going to touch Chennai. There is another port. So that corridor, I want to make it auto corridor. And also Sri City is there. as on today. So many Japanese companies are also located in that area. Even horticulture, defense, aerospace, these are all the industries we are working in a big way. What I wanted to impress upon you all, this is a new state. It is a virgin state. We are in crisis as on today after division, but lot of opportunities. I am one, when there is a crisis, I see an opportunity. Now I don't have capital. That is a problem. But at the same time, I am having an opportunity to build world-class capital. There is an opportunity. For all of you also, there are good opportunities to invest there. Even if you see all these areas, no other state can provide this type of natural resources. And also, even governance also, online clearance of applications, pro-investment friendly, and ultimately, we are interested in development. Be partners with us. That is what I am giving a call for all of you. Sometimes politicians will see industry means they are all looting, they are all exploiting the society like that. No. You are doing in your own way for developing the economy. You are contributing for the society. We are doing our own way as a policy makers, as elected governments for doing best for our society. Whenever this type of issues combinedly if we work, and also with cohesion we will work, we will produce results. In Singapore, I have seen one thing. Everybody is having a clarity. If I talk to one minister, same message will go to all ministers. Wherever I go and meet them, they will tell same thing. That is a very good clarity. With clarity, you can do anything. With confusion, you may not do anything, confusion will kill us. That is the problem. Indecisiveness will come, misunderstandings will come, there is no transparency, there is no clarity. This is the problem, but our government is very clear, very strong government. We don't have any problems. I don't have any high command also. I am having only high command that is public. For their interest, I can do anything. So even we are having a very friendly government in Delhi, that is NDA. We are party to in that government. 2 ministers are here, there. So with all these things, what I want to impress, generally, I am working with good relations with everybody. After division, Andhra Pradesh is located in such a way, one side, one state is Chennai, Tamil Nadu. With ADMK government, I had to work with them. One side, Orissa, that is BJD government, Naveen Patnaik. Another side, Karnataka, that is Congress government. Another side, Telangana, new government, this is TRS government. There my party also is there. I can, because in the present assembly we are having 15 MLAs and MPs and MLCs. I have to protect that state interest also. So we are having a mutual interest. So this is where I am saying it is a very, very inspiring time. If anybody is interested, you can come back with projects, or otherwise we'll send details for you. Some information is given to you. We will take decisions at the earliest, and both of us put together, we will develop the state and also we will develop India. With this, I'm thanking all of you. Thank you one and all.
A very passionate person. He pursues his goals with a single mind, and which has been seen when he was Chief Minister for 10 years. Andhra developed faster than most of the other states, and Hyderabad was built by him. It was, when I went to see him, I felt a little sad, because everything I saw was actually his handiwork. Before that, I've been there many years ago. It was a barren land, but it had sprouted so many different buildings and enterprises. And he was giving that up to build a new one. So for India, it's good, because then you have more cities of world class. So he's now got a target to build a new capital and also a vision to bring, he told you the different missions that he has and different segments that he's concentrating on. So there's plenty of fodder for thought, more, and I hope you will ask questions.
Not only thoughts, sir, for eat also.
The stomach is empty, so you got to make your questions short so that Chief Minister can have his lunch. He's got another meeting after that. We've got 20 minutes. Please keep your introduce yourself, keep your questions short, and you'll get a good response. So can I have, there's a young lady putting up her hand. Yes.
My name is Asha Hemrajani. Thank you for a very inspiring speech. I'm very keen to hear about your vision for Andhra Pradesh. There was one slide where you showed towards the end where you had a huge number of initiatives that you're working on. And frankly speaking, that was a bit scary. So I wanted to ask you how you're going to be able to manage all of that. So maybe I'll be more specific with my question. Which are the top 3 areas that you wish Singapore investment to come in when it comes to manufacturing? So what are the top 3 things you would like manufacturing to happen in Andhra Pradesh? That's my first question. And my second question is...
I think we'll have to stick to one question because...
Okay.
No, if you go through anywhere in the world, focus will be there always. And at the same time, there will be so many economic activities going on. My focus is infrastructure. If I create infrastructure, world-class infrastructure, then development will take place automatically. For that, I want to make Andhra Pradesh a hub for logistics, for Southeast Asian countries, and also interland of India, and also transit cargo. Second one, I want to go for in a big way for manufacturing. You name anything for manufacturing, I want to go, starting with agro-processing to automobile, and also pharma, all these industries I want to go. Third one is future is for service sector. In service sector, other things automatically will come. If I promote tourism by using all this infrastructure, then I can create employment and also revenue for the government and also wealth for the society. These are all the priorities I'm keeping. But at the same time, not one place, not with one focus. There will be, India is a very, very inspiring time. Recent times, some people are projecting minimum 10% growth rate in the near future. If India will grow at the rate of 10%, Andhra has to grow more than that. Then only this will be balanced. So I wanted to go in that speed. So wide spectrum I have created. There is a focus approach. That's why I created missions, grids, and campaign modes.
Very proud to hear you and have a great confidence in India, the way in which you spoken with passionate and visionary leader. Commitment, I will work on very hard with my group in palm industry, palm oil industry and dairy industry. Definitely there will be a commitment from our side very soon. Thank you.
I wanted to sit with you and then discuss about agriculture and also dairy. You are doing very well.
Thank you, sir.
I want to hear from you and then I want to have one meeting with you. Coffee, we are having excellent area, I'm telling you, virgin land in Araku and also Paderu. That is a tribal area. You can get, without any fertilizer also, you can get one of the best coffee.
Oh, I see. We are beginning coffee in India. I'll just find out what has happened.
Yeah, if you can come, we will work together. Sure, that is my priority sector for coffee growing, for tribal welfare. We can do wonders.
We already have cashew investments in your place. We have 3 factories in cashew.
Yeah, cashew also, plenty of cashew across the coast area.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We don't have any proper processing. If you can set up that processing, we are prepared to give additional incentives. Even any good plantation, you can tell me, connecting with micro irrigation and also scientific way of doing cashew plantation and also agriculture.
Definitely, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any best experiences, best practices, I want to take from you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Fami from Mindheart Group. We have an excellent plan for Andhra Pradesh new state. We want to meet you personally. We want to propose our ideas. We want to share with you our ideas.
Your ideas on?
on the cities, smart cities,
Yeah.
all airports. We have an excellent team in our Singapore. See,
Yeah.
we can develop as like Singapore city. We will develop Andhra Pradesh city,
In
Vijayawada.
election,
as a
I
Singapore.
promised, in electioneering, I will develop Andhra Pradesh just like Singapore.
Yeah, that is
People
my
believed
idea.
me, they endorsed my
I want
promise.
to share with you. We will bring it Vijayawada as a Singapore city, like
Okay.
Singapore.
I will be very happy to meet you, we'll meet.
Yes. Thanks, sir.
You give me the details also, we'll work it out.
Namaskaram, sir. My name is Anand. I'm an investor. I have worked with the government of Singapore for 12 years under Minister Iswaran. My question to you is, the Rajasthan government chief minister has announced 100 crores for incubation and startups, and they have encouraged investments to come from Singapore on a 1:1 basis. One point that is missing in the presentation is the creation of a Genome Valley and also the creation of a PPP model for innovation and startup. Do you have something like that in mind?
You know very well, our policy is, we are nearly earmarking 1,000 crores. There is a books, policy on IT, hardware, 3 policies we have created on information technology and electronics. Genome Valley is my pet subject. I created Hyderabad Genome Valley, not now, around 1995, 96, 97. At that time, I visualized after information technology, biotechnology is the future. So we have gone. Same Genome Valley, like that, inka better than that, we can create. Better standards we can create.
My name's Duncan Williamson. I work for a company called SAP. We're a large software company. In particular, my responsibility is for education across Asia Pacific and Japan, building capacity in locations. And in fact, I was in India this week. I was in Hyderabad on Wednesday, which I have to say I was very impressed. But my question relates specifically to the number 6 item that you had on your list of missions, which is the skill development. You're attracting a lot of industry. That's the intent, and I'm sure that's going to happen. But you're going to have, I guess, close to 500,000 graduates leaving university every year. What are your thoughts on how you're going to give them the skills to be job ready?
At national level, we are having skill development corporation. For that, Ram Dorai is the chairman. In our state, we created one more organization, state level skill development corporation. For that, GMR, G. Mallikarjun Rao, who is having airport in Delhi, in private sector, is the chairman. I wanted to involve private and public, both are together, to create skill upgradation in a big way. That is one aspect. And also, when I became Chief Minister in 1995, we had only 30 engineering colleges. Then I multiplied into 350 engineering colleges within 9 years' time. Now our engineers are working everywhere in the world. Now our curriculum, there is some problem. Even yesterday I have seen here, but that is one ITE, very good infrastructure they created. The amount of infrastructure what they created, even engineering colleges, polytechnic colleges, other colleges, they don't have that infrastructure. So technology is very strong. You want to create this type of infrastructure every year, it will take so much of time. Virtual training, you can go online. Even sometimes we can go for stimulators, how to do that. Sometimes online courses, how to do it. And on school and off school, you can do that. These various aspects I am working. It is all again depending on need of the industry. They are the members in this. New industry is coming. We will take their indent. On the basis of that, we will train. We will spend some money. And also certification also best institutes I'm involving, Tata and world-class institutions. Then we will do everything possible. Even on education policy, I'm thinking there will be big advisory committee for every mission. On education, I want to bring best people in the world in the board, so that they can give me all ideas how to improve, how to practical education, and also how to upgrade curriculum. When I was CM, I had done one exercise every year. There will be 5-6 experts they will go all over the world, which are all the best standards, best curriculum, best content, everything. They will come back, they will introduce here. So that we will upgrade continuously the best practice available all over the world. This is where I am planning. I want to make Andhra Pradesh as a knowledge state and also knowledge hub. It is possible. Even our people are working everywhere. Our people are professors everywhere. Why can't they produce students there? As on today, our people are going for higher education to other countries. Now I want to attract foreigners to come and study in Andhra Pradesh. That is my vision. We will achieve that.
My name is H.D. Gupta from Gold Kiss Beach Resort. Referring to your focus area of tourism, we are keen to invest in that area in your city. But there are few major challenges when we explore. Number one is permission. I'm not sure of Hyderabad or Andhra Pradesh, but in north side when we explored, there was almost like over 100 permissions required. And not only that, there was delays, like there are like few year delays, so which can double up the cost of project. Third major challenge in that is a very high land cost, which really don't lead investor to sustainable profit there. And the fourth thing is very irrational taxations. Like in hotel industry in some of the states, they charge luxury tax, which can be almost like 40%, and that too on full occupancy. So is there anything being looked upon in this such an important sector where the job employment is the maximum in that area?
I will be very happy. All clearances, I will do time-bound program. You do not go to anybody. Even our escort executive will come to you. We will do that. Second one, hotel, hospitality industry. Then taxation will rationalize, I am assuring you. Even connectivity, we are bringing connectivity. Land price also, depending upon size of the tourism industry, we can work with you. Even I wanted to construct some of the properties and give it to this these four-star, five-star hotels also. I want to attract. Like that we can create, even I am asking some people to create a very good policy for us. I am watching everything. As on today, we are having a policy, it is pro tourism policy, but ultimately we will create better policy. I told you in Visakhapatnam, cargo, this Indigo has decided as a hub. They want to promote, they want to construct rooms also. Even yesterday, Tata and Silk Air, they are working with one project. There also, they promised me they will promote tourism. Even in Singapore, I am discussing with Singapore tourism industry also. I am working with them how to work it out. Then naturally Singapore, okay, one destination. After that they want to go to India. They will go to this destination, 3 hours journey, 3.5 hours. Then they will come back. That is how we are integrating the package and also events.
Good morning, sir. My name is Samba Sivara. So I am MD for S4CTG. I am doing a business in oil field sector. So my question to Mr. Naidu is, since you have chosen Singapore as your role model, I have seen your 7 missions. So maybe another mission is missing there. If you see the success of the Singapore based on the clean governance. So do you have any mission to clean up your cabinets and MPs and MLAs to give a good governance? Then automatically these infrastructures, whatever is the development you are looking at, automatically will come up. So that is my idea. Can you add that mission also as an 8th one? If you can learn from the Singapore,
what I am saying, there is a pollution all around in India. Now we are cleaning everything. In that, there are some pollution in our MPs, MLS also, that will be totally cleansed up.
Yeah, that's what I want to keep. That one is as a mission.
What I am saying as a mission, not necessary. To achieve this, we need all these things. Why I am saying, in Singapore, you are from India.
Yeah, I am a citizen now here.
Yeah, that's what I am saying. If you come to Hyderabad, you behave differently. You are in Singapore, you behave differently. Am I right? No, what I'm saying, not you, any citizen.
No, sorry, sir. I forced to do follow the Indian system when I landed in.
That is what I
India,
am saying. You
Because
forced-
otherwise I cannot survive.
No, what I'm saying, you forced to do,
Yes.
follow Singapore rules and discipline because you have to survive here. Am I right? Hear
Yes.
me. Human beings are having a capacity for survival instinct. If you can get Americans to India, they will become Indians. If you take Indians to America, they will become Americans. If Singaporean people will come and stay 5 years in India, they will become Indians. Why I am saying this, these are all the laws over a period of time. Culture, how we are establishing. People are very smart compared to anybody. Even survival, they will change like anything. So they can survive anywhere in the world. That is only the quality for human beings, not animals, not trees. But human beings can survive any temperature, any climate, and also any environment. So India is also moving in that direction. Otherwise, why should you, long back you came to Singapore.
20 years.
If India developed, you should have been in India.
Yes.
Why you came to India, Singapore means it is not developed. Now it is going on. I am very confident. India will totally transformed. I am assuring you, it is a matter of time. Even systems, all over the world, if you can go through America, one of the biggest democracy. Even in America, rules are very strict. Even sometimes somebody will drink and drive, then he will be punished, including Prime Minister, President of America family also. In India, you commit a crime or you kill somebody, you can escape. There is a problem because law enforcing agencies are very weak over a period of time, not law. That is where things are coming. This is going to transform in course of time. Even in India, that culture is coming, that thinking is coming, people are mentally preparing, people are demanding, as a matter of fact. I want to live happily, good law and order, good environment, good safety, everything they are demanding. It will happen now. So don't have any opinion. I am consciously, if I say I am cleaning everybody, first they will finish me. Then all these things. In democracy, what happened, you know? Last time, ahead of times I traveled, 10 years I had a break. Not for me, for state there was a break. Now I am putting again on track. If we change the procedures, if you're going on acting on that, automatically things will happen. Everybody will fall in line, and also systems everybody will follow. That is what we are doing. We are very keen. That's why some politicians may not come to Singapore because here too much of transparency. I need the transparency. Then only things will happen.
I think the speech was excellent, and your question and answers was even better. I think you answered questions very frankly, the last one especially. And I think we will remember what you have said. I think Singaporeans are very pragmatic people. Even those who have come here, as you say, they would have become Singaporeans by now. So,
No, you are more patriotic also. In Singapore, every person in Singapore, they are pride, they are proud, and also they are more patriotic than anybody. I have seen that commitment. Everybody is totally committed. Your origin may be India or China or from Malaysia, but you are more committed for Singapore. That is really, I appreciate that patriotic feeling, nationality. I really appreciate all of it.
thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I think you will get some food now.
His Excellency, the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, His Excellency, Ambassador Gopinath Pillai, Her Excellency, India's High Commissioner to Singapore, ladies and gentlemen, it's my proud privilege on behalf of Government of Andhra Pradesh and CII, HCI, High Commission of India, to thank you all for being here today. You must have noticed that the Chief Minister has a brilliant clarity of vision. Our state under his leadership is hungry for development, hungry for technology, hungry for best practices, and hungry for good governance and transparent governance. Andhra Pradesh is under the leadership of a person who has got a very decisive mandate in 2014 elections. I would like you to keep in mind that our government and our Chief Minister have full command over the politics and policy formulation in our state. We have only 3 political parties in our legislative assembly, and 2 of them are friendly parties. The Chief Minister's and the government's authority today is unchallenged. And our government is very friendly with the government at Delhi, the central government under the leadership of Sri Narendra Modi. As the presentation made it clear, there are huge opportunities and there's very clear vision, there is very clear plan. I would like to say that your investments in Andhra Pradesh are absolutely safe. There is zero risk for your investments. We do not have terrorism, we do not have extremist threat. It's a peaceful state, it's a very law-abiding state, and we are now embarking on a long journey of building a new state and building a capital which is going to be the best on the planet. You're invited to Andhra Pradesh. You're invited to be a partner in our journey of development. Before we conclude this session, I would like you to see a short 4.5-minute film to introduce you to Andhra Pradesh. On behalf of Government of Andhra Pradesh, on behalf of the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, and on behalf of High Commission of India, I would again thank you for being here and sparing your time. Thank you very much.